Welcome to the Joel Dirt Podcast.
Okay.
But so yeah, we're officially rolling right now. Episode 1 here. This is fun.
Cheers, people.
Yeah. Cheers to
We're
you
going to get
all.
sponsored by Diet Coke.
Yoo-hoo.
Mm-hmm.
But so there was one thing I wanted to bring up, and that's the fact that you were nominated for a Grammy 4 different times.
4 times. Yes.
Now, let's talk about that. How did you and what did you get nominated for?
So there's 4. So one was New Artist of the Year, right? Is that, yeah. It's been a minute.
Right.
Best Female Vocalist, Best Album of the Year, and Best Remake, because I did a version of Evil Ways that Santana did.
Yeah.
And got a Grammy on that one. And then a little bit of got the other 3.
No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was nuts. And it's an A&R company that I had, and they were affiliated with the Grammy situation, and they put it towards the voting thing.
Really?
Because you have to be voted
You have to be voted in by like a group of people, I'm
Yeah.
assuming. Okay.
for the Grammys.
That's wild. So how did you find out? Like what was that all like? What was that like? Did you get a
Oh
phone
my gosh.
call? A thing
Yeah, I was in Michigan. It was going back from Michigan for my birthday, maybe. I think because they find in like October. So I'm driving down the road with my friend, and all of a sudden the A&R's calling me, and I'm like, why are they calling me? Right? So I'm like, hello? And they're like, is this Deb Barber? And I said, yes, this is. And they're like, oh my God, I got give you like some great news for you. Yeah. So then that's how I found out, and I'm like, pull this thing over.
We're about to jump out
Yeah.
of here.
It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, what are the odds? Because when you think about it, how many people have been nominated for a Grammy in their lifetime, you know? So it's kind of a rare thing.
Not everybody gets on for sure.
Right. So what was it like? So at that point, you know you're nominated. Then do you have to go and book a flight, book a room, and figure that all out? It's in LA, right?
It was in LA. Yeah. If I remember right. Yeah.
So what was the process like leading up to that?
They said, this is when the Grammys are going. Get your butt out here. So I got
You
to.
showed up.
And I got a picture on the red carpet.
That's so cool. That's priceless.
Yeah.
That's
It's awesome.
amazing. So obviously you're really talented at music. Where did it all begin for you? You know, when you go all the way back, what was your first memory of making music and getting into music?
Like as a kid?
Yeah, as a kid. Like where did it all begin?
Well, I wanted to play guitar to start with. And back in the day, because it's been a minute since I've been a kid, weren't teachers out. There weren't a lot of teachers. We didn't have all the technology we have now. Look at all the technology we have now that kids can just learn it on their own or by themselves or with a friend or as a game. And we didn't have any of that stuff. So let's see. I wanted to play guitar. Mom bought me a guitar. Couldn't make heads or tails of it. I had a book. That's it. And then I was like, okay, so this isn't working. And then 5th grade, they got to start in band. That's where I started. And I said, I want to play drums. And they're like, are you sure? I'm like, yes, I want to play drums. I was the only female in the drum section. It was awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's where it started.
So that's where it all began. And
Yep.
then, so you were on the school band.
In the school band. And then I was in the choir because I wanted to be in the pit. You know how they put the like show choirs together. I wanted to play in that. So that's how I went to there. Then I ended up in a drum and bugle corps, and I played marching snare in there. Yeah.
Nice. So when did you join your first band? Like your actual like concert
rock
band?
and roll
Yeah,
band?
like rock and roll.
Not concert band, because concert band, that's different.
Yeah, that's right.
Rock and roll was maybe... I didn't even have a drum set until 9th or 10th grade. Yeah. I was playing at Ralph Fick's open house down the road. He's a cousin. And I was watching this country band play, and I'm like, I want to do that. That's what I want to do right there. So I'm sitting there. I can do this. I can do that. I've never tried before. And I I remember my mom and dad were coming to the open house, and I was sitting behind the kit, and they're like, "What is she doing?" And I'm like, "This is what I want right here." And then I got to get one. I got to get a
Nice.
kit.
And
So-
downhill from there.
Yep.
Nice.
It was all.
So you're from Lapeer?
Mm-hmm. Grew up here.
And then what led up to you moving out to Vegas?
Let's see. 1991. My friend and I, we were going to do music, and we went to Florida because, of course, it's warmer in Florida.
Right.
And we lived on the. Actually, we went to her grandma's condo. We lived in her grandma's condo, and they were like, "We're not getting any people here. You know, we're playing for all that was in Ponta Gorda. So Ponta Gorda has all these 80 years old, right?
Right.
So I'm like, okay, this is not happening. So we're like, we need to go to the beach, closer to the beach. So we ended up getting a place on Pasagrille at the end of St. Pete Beach and all that stuff at the end of the Florida there. And I was working at a surf shop, just trying to pay the bills until we could get some gigs or something. And at the time, her mom was calling agencies and trying to get us on like a hotel circuit somewhere. And we had a computer that what we didn't play, we computerized. So if we had all the drums, I played the drums. But if there's like bongos and congas or anything like that, we computerized it all. Any kind of horns, we computerized it. So we were playing Miami Sound Machine and stuff like that, and it was all in there. It was so awesome.
Nice.
And then
Just the two of you.
just the two of us. Yep. It was we were just running a duo. And so we couldn't run the computer fast enough, so I had to put it on like a tape at the time, tape deck, cassette tape, so that half the night was there so we could go back and forth between the songs, because otherwise we'd have to load it and wait and then play and then load it and wait and play. And it was, yeah. So we just worked around it so we could make it happen.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what all states did you tour to? Like how big was the tour?
So we actually, so before we got on the road, I was going to take another job on as a hotel, as a maid. And they're like, "Why do you want to work as a maid? You're a musician and you're like working in a surf shop and you want to be a maid?" I said, "I got to stay here. We're going to get kicked out if we don't, make some more money." So I had got the job as a maid. And the very next day, a guy called from, where was he? Wisconsin. And he said, "If you can be up here in 4 days, I'll take you on my circuit." So we played Midwest. We played Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan. What else is in there? Chicago area, all that. We did a hotel circuit.
Right.
And he said, if you can play at this bar, and it was, what's the one with the big Paul Revere dude in Wisconsin? It's like, no, a lumberjack. It was a lumberjack place.
Oh, okay. Is it Wisconsin? Isn't there one in the UP also?
Yeah, but we were in the Wisconsin area.
Okay, I'm not too familiar with that.
We played in that bar, and the agent said, "If you can win this bartender over, I'll take you on my circuit."
Really?
Because they only had our tapes. They didn't really know. They'd
and that
never
was back
seen us
in the
play.
cassette days. Wow.
Yep.
Before CDs.
Before CDs. And so, of course, we pissed her off because we had all the attention, because he said, "Win the bar over." We did. We went and schmoozed with everybody. We had the place packed. It was
Right.
awesome. Even if we talked a lot, we
Right.
did it. So the very next day, he said, "I don't know what you did, but you pissed the bartender off. You're hired."
You did a great job.
Yeah, because apparently she likes all the attention, and they
Yeah.
didn't get any that night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
That's good.
we started playing the Midwest, and we did that for a couple years. And then my dad passed away, and I had to come home. I didn't have to come home. I came home, and we have to cut that.
Right.
I came home, and at the time, we had been doing this for, we never took any time off. We just kept playing, because who doesn't like to live out of a hotel?
Right. It's
So-
awesome.
We did that, and then when we came home, we said that, how can we get famous? What can we do? So he said, you need to sit still, get a following, and then build the following up.
Right.
instead
Kind
of
of start your local following and let it just grow organically out.
Mm-hmm. So a friend of my friends said, you know, you need to come out in Vegas. Vegas, there's places everywhere. You can play in the hotels, you can play whatever. So packed her up and off we went.
To the entertainment capital of the world.
Yep. So we played at Union Plaza, and there was another place that we played. I can't remember what it was. But the guys in the hotels, they were like, if we get a crowd in the bar, they told us to either take a break or turn down because they didn't want them in the bar. They wanted them out gambling.
Right.
And I'm like, well, that's no fun.
Right.
We don't want to play to nobody. So we started doing underground stuff and then touring from our underground from Phoenix to LA to Utah area and doing our own thing for the underground and started getting a following going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where that started.
Okay. What album was it that you got the Grammy nominations on? Was it With That Girl?
Nope.
This was like a solo deal, or
I was going by that time. I was out there for 16 years total, but the last maybe 7-ish. So I worked from making chocolate, worked in the chocolate plant, made ice cream, worked at Good Humor Briars, roughed houses, just whatever we had to do to make it happen. And at the time, I ran into Buddy Greco. Buddy was, what did he do? The Rat Pack. He was running around with the Rat Pack dudes back in the day. But he helped me produce my last CD of the solo CD, which was The Best of Life. We called it The Best of Life.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one that got the Grammy nomination.
Is that out there anywhere?
Mm-hmm. You can get it on CD Baby. You can get it on any of the digital platforms that download.
Nice.
Spotify.
It's on Spotify?
Yep.
I'll have to look that up. I was thinking about that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
But he helped me, and it was a good CD. We did good.
It sounds like it. You got nominated for a Grammy 4 times. Like,
4 times.
that doesn't happen to everybody, you know?
No, usually, sometimes they only get one if they can get one.
Right. No, that's so cool. That's unbelievable.
I'm very blessed in that. And every time I listen to it, it's like, wow, that's really good.
That's unreal. I got to look that up.
Yeah.
I will when I leave here, actually. Which brings me to my next thing. So after your music career, what made you move back here?
So let's see. I was roughing houses out in the subdivisions, worked for an electric company, and my mom took ill, and I came home to take care of her.
Okay. Family does that.
Yep.
Family will do that too.
She got it's vascular dementia. So
boy.
she had mini strokes, and every time she had a mini stroke, it took something more. It's kind of like Alzheimer's, but this was like quicker.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jeez. So you got back here, and then you decided to just start teaching?
Well, no, I took care of her I got back here in January of 2009, and then she passed away in April of 2011, and that's all I did was took care of my mom. She couldn't drive anymore, so I said, I'll take you wherever you need to go. She goes, that's not the point. I want to drive. And I said, I understand that, but that's why I'm here, is to help you. So I took care of her for that entire time, and that was pretty cool. Just giving back to my mom, and it's cool.
That is cool.
And that was, was that 2 years? 2009, 10, 11, yeah. It was about 2 years, and then she passed away.
Dang, sorry to hear that. But what got you
back into
the
stuff?
Teaching? Because, man, this is amazing what you do.
Well, after that, let's see. I went to River Street Music, which was here in town, and to see if I could teach there and help her out. And because I really didn't know what to do, right? I just wanted to get my feet back wet again. It's been a minute. And so I taught there for a year or so and started. My niece was she at Zimmer by then. I think she was at Zimmer by then. So I started trying to get into the realm with the teachers because I didn't know the teachers at this time. They're all different teachers from back in the day. And so I started volunteering and helping in the drum section, trying to get their marching band up to par. That was kind of fun, getting all those kids going.
Right.
But that's how I got my feet wet that way.
Right.
So,
And just kind of gradually went and went and went.
yep.
And then you ended up getting your own place.
Let's see. So, 2013 is when I opened up DB's Live. Yeah,
Nice. And you used to have a different location.
I did. It was a 5,000 square feet building. It was awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
You said there was a stage in there and everything.
We built a stage in there, put laser lights in the lid.
Oh, man.
It was cool.
I wish I would have got to experience that.
It was cool.
That sounds awesome. Which then you ended up falling into this place.
And then, yes, because during the pandemic happened, and my landlord kind of panicked.
Yeah.
And she
Wanted to sell.
Yeah, she just, it was time. She was in her 80s, and she
Didn't know
needed
what
to
the market
downsize.
was going to do. And
Yeah.
it's kind of like, got to go kind of thing.
Yep. So she sold that, and then I fell into this by accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was meant to happen because here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And it's cool because you just teach all these local kids how to learn these instruments, you know, and I see them coming and going all the time. It's always someone different, and it's just cool to see kids wanting to learn music.
If I can change one kid's path and help him, I've done, I think, what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right. That's more purpose than anything.
Yep. And
You
there's been so many times that even fathers, you know how fathers are, they don't really tell you what they're feeling. I've had 2 dads that have actually cried telling me that I've given them their son back or whomever back to
Wow.
them. They have something to talk about now. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
That's so awesome.
That's like the best feeling in the world. So every time something happens
Yeah.
that's not really good or whatever,
Right.
I have to think back that this is what I did.
Right.
This is what happened.
The
This
road
is cool.
you were on got
Yeah.
you to these moments.
Yep.
And that's just amazing. And that's how we met, you know,
And
getting,
that's how we met.
yeah, and getting my son into music. And it's like the weirdest thing, right? It's just, we're like, oh, the wife put out on Facebook, who's a good, you know, drum teacher? And everybody said, Deb Barber.
Deb Barber.
Go to Deb Barber in Lapeer. We're
Right.
like, well, obviously we got to go there. Everybody says to go there.
Go there.
So we come here, and the first time I walked in this place, you know, I used to be in a band back in the day, and nothing special, but we had a lot of fun, right? And when I walked in here, it was just like, you know, this is like a sanctuary for fun, you know?
It is. You gotta have fun.
You
Life's
do.
too stressful sometimes.
Right, it is. And then just seeing my kid come in here and then watching him, because he pays attention to teachers. Mom and dad, no. Got to resist mom and dad. But teachers, he listens. And to watch him listen to you and grow just with you and him excel on the drums has just been a true blessing for me to watch, because it's like, I'm already proud of my son, you know? It's so cool being proud of your kid. It's like the best feeling in the world.
It is.
And I know he's going to keep doing that.
Well, you know what's cool is, like, I have a couple band directors, and their kid came to me too. He sent all his kids to me because, that, like, again, they don't want to listen to their parents because they don't know. Yes, they do know, but
Right.
you know, they're gonna listen to somebody else.
Exactly.
But they sent their kids to me too back in the day.
Yeah, it's so cool.
So
So kids come through here quite a bit. That band Frame 42 that I've heard you talk about.
Mhm.
Are you part of building that band, or didn't they come through you kind of thing?
oh yeah, they were all my students, and I started going, well, you know what we should do is do a band. Let's put a band together. And then I started putting bands together with all my kids.
So they were all individual students,
Mhm.
and you pieced it together
Mhm.
to make the band Frame 42.
Yep.
Now that's pretty cool.
And they toured around with some big name people.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is because you've talked about them so many times. I actually looked them up on Spotify and actually listened to their music earlier today because I'm like, I need to look into this. And then I kind of looked into them a little bit last night too, and it's amazing. You know, they played like the Blue Ridge Rock Festival. They've played all kinds of big festivals and with all kinds of big bands. And then
Mhm.
and I kind of dove into that guy that did the production for them.
Toby.
Yeah, Toby Wright is his name.
Yep.
I mean, that's unbelievable, that guy.
Yeah.
And you've known Toby as well, right? So how did you build Frame 42 and then get them linked to Toby? That's the big question.
Well, it's another thing, just like when you showed up here, right? It's like this led to this, and then all of a sudden we have Toby Wright in the picture. And it was like,
crazy.
yeah!
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because the thing about Toby Wright, he he produced Alice in Chains,
Mhm.
the album with Man in the Box on it,
Mhm.
and he did win a Grammy with that, right?
Yep. And he won one on Metallica too.
That's what I was
think it
gonna
was
say.
one.
Is I was looking last night,
Mhm.
and he worked with Metallica. He's worked with Seven Dust. He did Korn's "Follow the Leader" album.
Mhm.
And that's probably my favorite Korn album out of all. I love Korn. They're one of my top 5 bands, and that's probably their best album. And I'm just like, what the heck? Toby Wright, the guy she's always talking about, produced that album, you know? So I thought that
Yeah.
was really cool. And I was just like, that's why I had to dive into like the Frame 42 thing. I'm like, this is just so weird. I got to understand the story a little bit better. So that's pretty neat. You piece together these kids, make a band.
Mhm.
Somehow they meet this amazing producer, produce an album. And it did pretty well, it sounded like, but from what I read, that they split in 23, 24 just recently,
Yeah.
and they started up another little project, so they're still playing.
One ended up going to Berkeley. The other one is going to Nashville. They're all still doing
music,
They're just
right? And that's
Yeah.
what happens in time. So
Yep.
how cool they came through here
Yep.
and learned from you.
Yep.
That's pretty awesome.
The lead singer, one of the lead singers, they were both students, and I started Ariana when she was like, what grade was she in? 4th grade, 5th grade, a long time ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's wild. So you just get to watch them just grow up
Mm-hmm.
and then flourish.
Yep. And so Ava, the other singer, I met at River Street. That's where I was teaching after my mom passed away. I went to River Street, Riverside, River Street Music, I think it's called. And I met her through there. So then she ended up coming to when I started DB's Live, and then that built. Yeah, it's crazy how it all unfolded.
Yeah, it is really crazy. That's so cool.
And in that building, I had 13 bands going. 13.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you built all 13 of them?
All of them.
You just took all the pieces and built them up and had them just rocking out.
Yep.
Obviously, you're probably putting on sweet concerts and stuff.
We had a gig. We had a show once a month at the old building.
Dang.
Yeah, it was fun.
We got to get you a new building.
I know, right?
That's got to be the
Anybody
goal.
out there? We need a new building.
Yeah,
We're
we need a
looking
new
for
building with the stage.
With the stage, we can build a stage.
Yeah, we can build it. We just need the space.
We need the space
And we can have events. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be so fun.
and some rooms so that we can do studio again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be cool. You have all the stuff, obviously.
there's enough pieces together everywhere.
Yes, that's so cool. So back into like your music career, what are some of like the highlights, like the moments that just top 5 highlights for you in your music career? I know you had mentioned to me the one time you were in the same room as Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh my gosh, that was so cool.
And I'm like, that's pretty wild. You've been in the same room as Ozzy?
That
So
was cool.
walk me into that. Tell me about that one. How did you get into the same room as Ozzy?
It was just one night we were at this bar, and all of a sudden we're this like 3 guys coming in. They're all like dressed in black and leather and whatever, and they're like, "Who is that?" Oh my God, that's Ozzy! All he did was came in. He took the stage right then, played like 3 or 4 songs, and left.
So this was like an improv,
Yep.
not planned. He
Nope.
just showed up,
Yep.
rocked a few songs.
Well, maybe it was planned by him and
May-
his
his
dealer, but-
entourage or whatever. But it wasn't like, hey, come see Ozzy tonight.
No,
the
not at
bar.
all.
He was probably just warming up or something for a gig. And was this in Vegas?
This was in Vegas.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Vegas is awesome.
The best that happened out there, let's see, my friend and I warmed up for Cyndi Lauper.
Okay.
Yep, at one of the festivals out there. There was like
Jeez.
30,000 people there. It was awesome.
What?
Yeah,
So you're on stage looking out
Yeah.
at 30,000 people.
yeah, it was awesome.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
Were you nervous? Because I would.
Yeah.
I'd be real damn nervous. Like, oh my God, look at all those heads out there. That's a sea of heads.
Yeah. The biggest crowd that I ever played for was 280,000 people.
Were you at Woodstock? What is this?
No, it was Girl Scouts.
Girl Scouts.
Girl Scouts.
Were they selling all the cookies there or what? What's going on? That's a lot of cookies.
So after when it was at River Street, this was one of those weird things.
Yeah.
I was sitting there inside waiting for a student one day, and a friend that I grew up with was there, and she had married my old piano player that played in my band back in high school in the rock band. And I'm like, no way. And they're like, yeah. And then they said that her daughter's taking guitar lessons and she's writing a song. And I said, she is? What? And I said, if you need help, let me know because I'll help.
Right.
And that she did. They called and said, let's do this. So it was the year of, what year did we do that? I want to say like 2012. We played in Chicago and we played in, where's the Grand Mall? The mall for.
Like the Mall of America
Yeah.
in Minnesota?
Nope, not that mall.
Yeah.
It's the
Grand Mall sounds like Nashville or something, like the Grand Ole Opry. I don't know.
It's by the White House.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. In Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we played. So I helped them finish their song, helped them arrange it, helped them record it, and so it was the year that it was the 100-year Girl Scout anniversary, and they played this song and they submitted it for the whatever they were doing, and if whoever won got to play at the mall in Washington D.C.
Yeah.
Washington D.C. They won. So I'm like, yeah, are you
No
serious? I'm
way.
playing. I want to play.
Yeah.
So my piano player that played in the rock band back in the day, we both took stage with the Girl Scouts that they're in her troop and played for 286,000 people.
You're looking out at 286,000
It
people.
was awesome.
Unbelievable.
And you can't get nervous because there's so many people that you can't point just one person.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You just got to kind of almost just kind of just go into your element and they just, they're not even there.
Yep.
And you're just in the mode.
It was awesome, though.
That's cool. That is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have had to have a few shots probably for that one.
That was the ultimate. That's the biggest crowd I've ever played for.
Really? That's unreal. I think the machine shop was mine. So.
What do they hold? 500?
Yeah, it's like 550 or something like that.
Yeah, but
I
they're
think.
right there in your face. And
But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played there 3 times. It was pretty cool.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. You know, we played Harpo's a couple times. Bunch of little bars around Genesee County and Detroit.
So when you played at the machine shop, did you warm up for somebody or were you the headliner?
No, you know, let's be honest. Back then, I drank a lot, so
So I don't remember.
Some of it I don't remember. We do have the audio, and you can hear it in the beginning of the one audio. It's like, "Drummer, where's the drummer?" You know, I
dear.
was still at the bar
Serious?
while the rest of the band's on stage, and here I come on stage all lit. But honestly, that might have been our best show, though. But anyway, back in the day stuff. So I think like the first time or something, it was like a local act type thing. So we may have been the main, because I remember we had to sell X amount of tickets in order to like get the show to happen kind of thing. Like
Right.
if you didn't sell enough tickets up front, they weren't even going to do the show.
Okay.
But the other 2 times we were warming up basically. Yep. And there's a local band who I believe they still play, Westfall, that's
Yep.
from the same school as us. I know those guys a little bit. You know, if I saw them, we would know each other and have good conversation. But it we warmed up for them, and they always crushed it. They always brought a big crowd, you know, and those guys are really good and talented. So that's kind of what happened that night.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was fun, and it was. I want to say it was sold out. There was a lot of people
Okay.
there. There was a lot of people.
Frame 42 played there
Yeah.
3 or 4 times. They were all warm-ups, and then they had their own where they brought warm-ups with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is cool. I know. I remember we played at this place down in Detroit, the IROC. Have you ever heard of that place? The IROC.
Mm-mm.
It's down by Harpo's, and whew, that was a rough one. But Harpo's was pretty fun to play. Have you ever been to Harpo's?
Nope,
Oh, it's a cool venue.
I don't think so.
It's a real cool venue.
Where's that at?
It's right off of I-94 on Harper Avenue. It's kind of like east side Detroit. We almost be like northeast because Detroit's kind of on an angle. But yep, it's a cool little venue.
Mm.
Yep, it's still sitting there on the side of 94. Every time I drive by, I just remember all the concerts I saw there. And
What's the one in, is it Waterford? No, it's further down. It's where all the big people play. They have like tons of,
oh, are you talking about like Pine Knob?
nope, it's a
Oh.
bar.
Oh, bar.
Maybe it's not Waterford. They have all the people that played there, all their pictures on the walls.
Huh. Not too sure. But
Like the big people. Like
Yeah.
Ozzy's played there. I mean, some
Yeah.
big people. What the heck's it called? They warmed up for Sweet there.
yeah, I'm not sure. Doesn't ring a bell.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah.
You would know it if I
if
said
you
it.
said it, I'd probably know it. But those are some good memories back in the day, and just setting up at the shows ahead of time, and oh man, yep, some good memories. There's times I don't even remember taking my stuff down. So, back in the day, things got a little crazy, but yep, it's good
Hey,
stuff.
those are fun stuff.
Yeah, you live and you learn, right?
Yep.
That's what it's all about.
That's what built today.
Exactly. And it's so cool that we're here today, because this whole podcast idea, like I said to you before, I've been thinking about this for over 2 years now. The logo that I have for it right now is a picture I took 2 years ago. So, and I bought all the equipment at least a year ago. I think it was at least a year ago. And so I bought all the stuff, and I'm just like, I have nowhere to do this. I don't know what I'm doing buying all this stuff and having all this gear, but where am I going? I don't know. I know I'm going to do it eventually, and I know it's going to probably not be great at first, but we're just going to work at it, and it'll get better in time. And finally, just again, we walk in here to get my son some drum lessons, and then after several classes, I start to think, this is kind of like the right area for the podcast. And we got to know each other, and it's almost like it was meant to be.
Right.
It's kind of weird how the roads led to this. And just kind of threw the idea at you, and you're like, let's go.
Let's go.
So,
We've been talking about it too. I have an adult band, so all the people in my friends in the adult band that I put together, and some of them have been taking lessons, so it was a lesson band or whatever. But we'd been talking about doing podcasts too.
Right. And it's just for fun.
Yeah.
Right. It's just the idea of having a good time,
Yep.
capturing stories, and for fun.
Making people laugh.
Yeah. You try to, personally, me, I like to hear people's stories, like the stories about you and your Grammy nominees, the stories about you in the same room as Ozzy, and all these stories you got. Like, I could sit around and listen to other people's stories, because everyone has a story, and I love to hear them. So that's kind of the idea behind the podcast, and where the idea originally came from, because I'm a truck driver, so I'm in the truck all day long, and I have a lot of time to think, right? So I'm going down the road, and I'm just like, man, what can I do other than be a truck driver? This is not what I'm supposed to do for the rest of my life.
Could you make a podcast in the truck?
I actually did think about doing that. In the semi, I probably could do, like, if I slept in the truck and stayed out overnight, I could probably do like little recordings at night. But by the time I shut the truck off, I'm exhausted. I've been driving for 14, 16 hours all day. Last thing I want to do is sit there with my eyes open. I want to crawl in that bed and fall asleep. But right now I'm doing like the residential stuff, so I'm not really, that would be impossible.
Right.
But so I'm driving down the road all the time thinking, and then I got to thinking about, how do you capture your legacy? And how, like, I'm vulnerable to car accidents because I'm on the road all day.
Right.
And I'm thinking about my children, and I'm like, how do I capture my stories for them in the event something happens to me? And then I just it kind of stuck with my brain for several weeks, and I'm always listening to podcasts all the time, in the truck. And then I kind of had like a business idea pop in my head, and it's probably be a good idea, but I didn't go that route. And I got to thinking, well, why don't I just do a podcast for fun, capture my stories and other people's stories, and then if something happens to me, at least the kids can go back and say, hey, look, there's my dad, and here's his stories.
Yep.
So that's kind of how the idea came to life. And that's why I bought the stuff ahead of time and just said, we're going for it. I don't care if I'm terrible at this thing. I don't care if people think it sucks. That's fine. I'm just going to do it. And obviously it'll get better in time. Got to learn how to do all the editing and all the fancy stuff, which we'll figure it out. And so yeah, that's kind of where the idea came from. And the Joel Dirt name, let's talk about that real quick. So at my work, they gave me a nickname, Joel Dirt, because as a truck driver, I hauled dirt in the spring season. And so every time I'd come back to fuel up, they'd be like, hey, Joel Dirt, hey, Joel Dirt. And so as I'm, again, thinking about the podcast, I'm driving down the road, and I'm just, Joel Dirt, and I could do like a Joel Dirt theme. Joel Dirt's not the smartest man in the world, and neither am I, So
Come on now.
No, it'd be okay, because if it does suck, at least it's Joel Dirt, So that's kind of where that idea kind of manifested and how we got to where we are, So
That's cool though.
yeah, it's just neat how things happen. I mean, we all have thoughts and ideas, but until you actually do something with it, it's never going to happen.
Right.
And I'd rather fail and say, hey, at least I tried.
Yep.
You know, and not that I expect this to be something of, you know, extreme greatness. I just, hey, I'm going to do it for fun, and whatever happens, happens.
But what if it does?
Hey, that's cool. You know,
You're
That'd
going
be
to
cool.
look back and you're like, what? Look where we are
Well,
now.
yeah, let's be honest. I don't want to be a truck driver for the rest of my life. So if this led to something cooler, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Right.
You know, so that's why I need a hobby. You know, I used to have hobbies back in the day, a lot of snowmobiling and the bands and all that, and kind of fell off of like doing hobbies. A lot of it's because of having kids, and that's, you know, it's great. They became my hobby.
Right.
And, you know, as they're getting older, I'm just like, all right, I got to make a little bit of time for me also, you know, and they're taken great care of. So, you know, we always got, you know, good things happening for them. So.
Right. Back in the day, weren't you a YouTuber?
No, not me. I do have some videos on YouTube, if that's what you're wondering.
Yeah.
Because I did a lot of snowmobiling stuff on Instagram, and yeah, I did a lot of snowmobiling up in Ontario and all over the state of Michigan. You know, and that was my thing. I gained a pretty decent following with my snowmobiling page, and I did put some stuff on YouTube back then, but I never really took it seriously, you know. And I got some like old concert videos that are pretty cool that are on YouTube. You know, it's funny, you go back and look and it's like, oh wow, why does this look like it's 30 years ago, you know? Because it's close to it. So crazy to think, but yeah, so it's just finally getting a new hobby here and having some fun with it.
I think that new hobbies are good.
Yeah, it's good. It's fun.
It does the next path of wherever you gotta go.
Right, kind of stepping out of a comfort zone, feel the nerves a little bit, and just push through it, and whatever happens, happens.
Make her happen, and
That's
just do
it.
it for fun. Because
That's just it.
if you love it, then it's gonna be cool.
Well, I do love, like I said, hearing people's unique stories. You know, everyone's got something, and some people don't want to share it, and some people do.
Right.
You know, and I just love the idea of capturing people's stories, and I can set them down. I could talk to them. I could pry it out of them a little bit. We can put it out in the world, and they'll always have that too.
Well, and you say that. So I had a student that he was older, and he ended up having cancer, and he passed away. And his wife knew that he took lessons from me and that we recorded stuff. So she had asked if I could go back and look up any of the stuff that I saved for him and record it, put it on a CD for her so that she could hear him again.
Right.
So it is true.
It is, yeah, and that was kind of the business idea that I had, but was capturing other people's legacies, you know, through the podcast format. But I got to thinking about it. I'm like, I really just want to do this for fun. I want to talk to people that I want to talk to.
Right.
I don't want to go and sit down with people that, hey, it would be cool to capture people's stories and for their loved ones and stuff. But then you got to charge them money for it, you know, if you're going to have it actually be a business.
Right.
And it's like, and what if you sit down with them and it's like, you're just like, this isn't very interesting or something, you know? So I'm like, maybe I just do this thing for fun and talk to people I want to talk to, you know? That's kind of what happened there. So,
Yeah, let's see where it goes.
Right. It'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun.
That's what it's got to be.
Right.
Got to be fun. Go
Yep.
big or go home.
That's it. So what else you got? You got any other wild Vegas stories, Vegas nights? I can tell you one thing for sure is Las Vegas is probably one of my favorite places on earth that I've been to so far. 'Cause
Really?
I'm sure there's other places that are better, but I had so much fun out there. I've only been there once, and it is amazing. To me, it's amazing. And honestly, I'm not even a gambler. I'm not a big gambler at all. Everybody thinks you have to be a gambler to go to Vegas. You sure don't.
Nope.
Not even close.
Nope.
When I went there, I'll never forget. I went to the car rental. The guy says, "Is this your first time in Vegas?" And I said, "Yep." He said, "Well, I bet you won't be your last." You know, I'm like, "Yeah, okay." He's right. He's damn right. I want to go every year. You know, it's when you get there, it's like the architecture. All those buildings are really cool. They're really unique. Entertainment capital of the world. Everybody comes through there.
Yeah.
You know, and people from all over the world come through there. So if you like to people watch, my gosh,
That's the place.
that's the place for it. You're
'Cause
gonna
there's everything going on.
you can see anything you want to see there, and it's kind of cool because you're like in that bowl down in the desert, surrounded by mountains. So we're there, and you can see snow up in the mountains, and you're down in the 80-degree weather. It's like, how cool is this?
It's the year that I moved out there, it was 70, 75 all winter long.
Yeah,
It was awesome. It was like that for the first maybe 10 years, and then it started to change.
really.
Now it snows a little bit.
Every once in a
yeah.
while.
It's
Yeah.
crazy now.
Yeah, we did have one like light rain day when we were there, and that was like rare. So I thought that was kind of cool. But
I like the sun, having the sun
oh yeah,
all day,
listen,
every day.
I'm a sucker for facts. I come home from there. I had so much fun there. I made a pros versus cons list. How do I convince my wife to move to Las Vegas?
Oh my gosh.
And obviously, the pro list is humongous. The con list is only like 3 things, but one of them is family. So it's like, I guess we're stuck in Michigan because of family. We
You
love
can
our
fly back.
we love our family.
You
Well,
fly back.
believe me, that's one of the pitches I said. I was like, in the summers in Vegas, we can fly back to Michigan and enjoy those Michigan summers, you know,
Yep.
because it gets really hot there. But yeah, 300 and plus days of sunshine a year there.
That's cool.
Unbelievable. Yeah, what we did is we when we did our trip, we left Detroit, jumped on a plane. Soon as we landed, got a convertible Mustang, drove 4.5 hours from Vegas, went down through is that Henderson, and is that what's the other one right
Green
up?
Valley.
Yeah, then went to the Hoover Dam,
Okay.
and then that's actually pretty cool for people. Oh, it's just a dam. Well, it's kind of a neat area when you actually look around. You're like all these little mountains by you. It's pretty,
Did you go in the dam?
we did not go in the dam.
That's
but-
cool.
Yeah, I bet. But we kind of got out and looked around it and everything, and it was pretty neat. And then we continued to drive to the south rim of the Grand Canyon.
Okay.
So we went straight down. It was all like desert, and you can see like a little mountain ridge to your left, and it's just desert. And like people live out in these deserts in these like little trailers. They have no heating, no cooling, and it's crazy. You can see their lifestyles. It's like, wow, I can't believe they live out here. But it was so cool once you get south a couple hours, you start cutting east, and then you'll be in a desert. Next thing you know, you're surrounded by pine trees. Next thing you know, you're surrounded by boulders. Next thing you know, you're back in the desert. Next thing you know, it's like you can watch the temperature gauge in your car fluctuate 20 degrees in 10 miles. And then, so we got there, went to the south rim, checked the rim out, and we did something pretty cool. Or like Google Satellite, I like to like look at things from the sky down, and I'm like, okay, well, if we park here and walk north, eventually you're going to run into the edge of the Grand Canyon where nobody's at.
Oh my gosh.
And we timed it out just right. I was like, the sun's going to set at this time. Let's park right here. We got there right on time. We started walking to the north. We're walking through all this brush. And next thing you know, boom, you're out on the side of the Grand Canyon, and there's nobody around.
Wow.
And the sun's setting.
Wow.
And got some sweet pictures. And it was like, this is so cool. And we're just passing a little bottle of whiskey around, having a good time. And that was pretty neat. And then on the way back to the car at that time, we were walking, and I looked down, we saw this animal print. And we're like, what's that? You know, we're kind of looking, and we rotated around it, and it looked like a cat print, about, 4 inches in diameter. So we're like, maybe there's a cougar here.
Oh, dear.
Maybe we should get to the car. But anyway, went back to the car. Next day, went back to Vegas, and we went and saw Chris Angel Mind Freak show.
Okay.
That was pretty neat. We were front row for that. That was awesome. My buddy got heckled by Chris Angel, and he bought us shots, so that was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then we ended up going to the Sick New World Festival out there the day after that, which is a huge rock festival all in one day, which was really cool. Tons of rock bands, and yeah, we had a blast, and short, sweet, and lots of fun.
Where was the concert at?
Circus. Just
Outside?
Outside, just north of the building.
Okay.
Yep. And they're doing it again this year, but I'm not going to that one. But I would like to, but yeah, so anyways, with Vegas, I've just discovered there's so many things I want to do out there. Zion's 2 hours away. There's just Death Valley's over, west. There's just so much to do out there.
Did you go to Red Rock?
I did not.
Red Rock's cool.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like why I fell in love. I'm like, there's so many things to do out here. I've already explored Michigan. Like I like to explore things. So everything is so close.
Yeah.
You know?
You could go up Mount Charleston, go up in the mountains and go hike in the mountains.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
I would love to do that.
There's
Yeah.
a big waterfall up there. I don't remember what it was called, but it's like a couple hours to go up the hill, and then you run down the hill, and that's pretty cool.
Really?
Takes 15 minutes to get down, but it takes 2 hours to go up.
No way.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I got out of Vegas. I highly recommend people go to Vegas. Don't gamble, just go and have fun.
Yeah.
Just walk, but bring your walking shoes because there's a lot of walking to do.
Yep.
But
Pretty cool.
that is cool.
Or people watch.
Yeah,
People watch.
Yeah, and we also learned a trick too. It's instead of buying beers at the casino or the hotels and the casinos, you just go out on the strip and you go into like a CVS or a Walgreens or whatever, and you buy a couple of 24-ounce tall boys, and you can just walk around open intox. They don't care. You can go from resort to resort to resort, just carrying those couple dollar beers, save a ton of money. So that was a little hack that we were informed on. So,
That's cool.
yeah, it was kind of neat. But do you plan on staying in Michigan the rest of your life, or you think you want to get out of here? Or?
No, I like it here.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Yeah. Once I came home and got back in the realm of friends and
Right.
family and
Yeah.
losing family.
Right.
And, yeah.
That's the rock, right? The
Yep.
family.
Yep.
So that's kind of why I was like, I gave up on trying to convince on moving. This time of year, though, it's like doom and gloom outside. It's the
Yeah.
weather's so bad. And
Well, I love it when it snows.
yeah, I mean, I don't mind it. You got to make fun of it and all that, right?
Yep.
But you do find yourself driving slower and, slipping and falling on ice, which
Well, there's that. There's that.
just happened to my mother-in-law. I broke her arm. So
That's right.
it's like,
That's right.
yikes. But sorry for mentioning that. But it can happen. I slip and fall too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So do some podcasts have sponsors and everything?
oh yeah, absolutely. So I think it's more or less like on YouTube, you have to have so many subscribers before you can monetize, and they will put ads on there for you. But I do know, like on Spotify and other things, if once you, I believe, generate enough following, I believe you can pick from certain advertisements that you can put on yours. Or if you are sponsored, you can put your own. You could do something totally on your own, right? Say Diet Coke reached out to us. Hey, we want to be on the Jolt Dirt podcast. We can make our own Diet Coke commercial, and we could put it right in the middle of our episode, right?
Okay.
It cuts out, hey, everybody drink Diet Coke. It's great for you. No, it's not. But but
Just kidding.
just joking. But tastes good though. But
It's refreshing.
right. So yeah, you could do that. So
So it's unlimited.
yeah, you can do whatever you want to do, but you never know. Somebody's like, oh, hey, I like your show. Here, throw this out there, So, yeah, pretty neat stuff.
I think it would be cool because, like we've been talking about, when you do this, it adds to this to happen, and then this happens, and then
Yeah, and that's kind of where my mind's at. Is I just want to get the ball rolling.
right.
It's you feel the nerves at first. It's like exciting nerves. It's like, oh, finally, I've been thinking about this for 2 years. Here we go. We're finally doing something, right?
Right.
We're finally doing something. So I feel those nerves, but it's like also, like you said, we can just start rolling the ball, and it could bounce into this, and it could bounce into that, and next thing you know, you're having a great time. It's like a networking thing too, It's you can meet people through people, and those people have awesome stories, and they want to sit down and talk.
Right.
Which is what I'm excited mostly about, I think, is that I might meet some new people through this.
Right.
And that's the idea. So,
See, that's the cool part. Because like with my lessons and stuff, I've met a lot of people, and I've been through a lot of music. I mean, I wouldn't listen to half this music that some of these kids bring in.
right.
I wouldn't listen to them, but they brought it in. They want to learn it, and that's opens up another door of that is cool music.
Right.
So
Exactly.
I've learned a lot from them as well.
Right. And that's another thing I think that I've learned just from listening to podcasts in that sense is to be open-minded and to allow myself to not be headstrong and stubborn and be willing to, you know what I mean? It's like be able to learn and hear and change, you know. It's,
Right.
you know, yeah, don't be so set in your ways, you know, allow yourself to understand that people are different and stuff. And yeah, people might like different music than you do. I've learned to just like all music.
Yep.
It may not be for me, but
Right.
it's for somebody.
Right.
And if it's popular, clearly they're doing something right.
Yep.
Do I listen to Taylor Swift? No, I don't.
You
But
don't listen to Tay Tay?
no, I sure don't.
Come on now.
But guess what? A lot of people do.
They do. I want me Tay
Yeah,
Tay.
there's a lot of Swifties out there.
There are.
And I don't understand, but that's cool. To each his own. You know, it's not my cup of tea.
You gotta love some Tay Tay.
Yeah. Hey, talent is what talent is, I guess.
And look, she's growing up with a lot of people.
Oh yeah. Right.
All these kids that grew up with her.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. And like Justin Bieber.
Bieber.
Yep. The Bieber favor.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. My wife's a Bieber lover. She's got Bieber favor. She grew up with
Bieber
him.
fever.
Yeah. And back in the day, I'd be like, oh, he's something, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not so sure about that guy. And now I'm just like, that dude's got some serious talent, you know? That's just part of growing up,
Yep.
you know?
And where'd he start? The same thing.
Yeah, the same thing.
Didn't Eminem find him?
I do not know that. That'd be new information to me.
I thought it was, or maybe I'm thinking Greta Van Fleet.
So Greta Van Fleet's from Frankenmuth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know who discovered Greta Van Fleet, but
I thought it was Eminem or one of those rapper dudes.
really.
Mm-hmm.
You did bring up Greta Van Fleet. There's a cool little story about how they got their name. Did you hear that story?
Isn't Greta? There's a Greta.
So, yeah. So what happened was they were playing at some event, their band was, and they didn't have a band name yet. And they said, the people hosting it said, oh, you got to have a band name. What's your band name? And there was some old lady right there. I think her name was Greta, something like that. And her last name might have been Van Fleet. It's like something so... like
Seriously.
Seriously. Now, I may not be 100% precise, but it's like really close to that. That's what happened. Like, it's an old lady's name. And they're like, we like your name. We're Greta Van Fleet. And then boom, worldwide.
That's awesome.
Wide.
That's awesome.
You know? So it's like, it's crazy how stuff like that can happen. But
We were playing at an Eagles. Was it an Eagles? Somewhere in Detroit. And Greta Van Fleet had played there years before they became the big Greta Van Fleet. And the people were just saying, do you know them? They're like from here too. And I'm like, no. Just we started connecting, and it was awesome through that too.
yeah, right.
So you're right. Everything is a connection.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how it comes together,
Yep.
you know? It's like, I now know you, and you've been in the same room as Ozzy. This is crazy.
I know.
Like, holy smokes. My goodness.
I know, right?
That's pretty awesome.
And he didn't shake back then.
No?
Nope.
He was normal then.
Normal.
That's wild.
Yeah.
The old-fashioned Ozzy.
Yep.
Just made me think about how he used to do Ozfest. Remember how Ozzy did Ozfest? The big shows he would tour around.
That was his, right?
Yeah, it was his. He was always a headliner. So one of my all-time favorite concerts was Ozfest 2004. Just unbelievable.
And did he have it in the same place every time?
A lot of the times he would, because it had to be a high-capacity venue. When he came to Michigan, it was always at Pine Knob or DT or whatever you want to call it. I always call it Pine Knob.
I know.
But 2004 Ozfest was unbelievable. They had the stage in the parking lot on the concrete slab there. And
The main stage?
No, so they had the main stage, which had like 5 awesome bands on it, right? And then they had a parking lot stage that they warmed up like all day, and then they would open up like the main part of the venue at say 5 o'clock.
Wow.
So you'd get there and be jamming it from noon to 5 in the parking lot. But the headliner in the parking lot in '04 was Slipknot, and before them was Lamb of God, and before them
In the parking lot?
yes, and then before Lamb of God was Atreyu, and this is when Atreyu was first blowing up. It was unbelievable.
Lamb of God's huge.
Oh, they're humongous. And Slipknot, this is when they were like in their prime.
Wow.
It was crazy. And I'm young. Well, actually, that's the year I graduated, so I was 18. But I'll never forget just standing in that crowd and just, it was chaos, and it was so amazing. It was unbelievable, the energy there, and it was an amazing show. It's one of my tops, definitely top 5s.
Wow.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Because I saw them there. I think they were warming up for Megadeth.
Okay. Yeah,
There was
yep.
3 other bands, and Megadeth was the final one.
Okay.
Yeah. And I would have put Lamb of God at the end.
Oh yeah, man, they can shred.
That was cool.
They can really get down.
Their
and it's-
pyrotechniques. Wow.
Yeah, they put on a really good show.
Yeah.
And the singer, Randy from Lamb of God, from what I remember, what was the story? He was in a foreign country. For some reason, I want to say it was like Czechoslovakia or something like that over there. And I think he was on stage, and a fan jumped up on the stage, and he hit the fan, I believe, and the fan fell off. Later died, I guess, something like that. I could get the story a little bit wrong, but it was something like that. He ended up having to go back over there and face the courts, and he ended up in a terrible prison, from what I understand, and he obviously had a lot of time to write material. And when he got out of there, he wrote this one album, and oh man, that album, it's like one of the song titles is his cell number, and just another one, it's like Still Echoes is the name of one of the songs, and it's like in the song, if you look at the lyrics, he's saying he can basically still hear the echoes of their screams. You know, he's in like this crazy prison, right? So it was just a crazy album for a guy like that to go through that experience. Wow. And then, but he's good now. But man, it's a pretty wild story to think that,
wow,
you know, fan jumps up on stage, you hit him, he dies, you're in trouble. And I want to say this was, I don't know if this was probably after the Dimebag Darrell thing, where he got shot on stage, right? So it was kind of like, everybody's kind of like, whoa, stay off stage.
Right.
So I want to say it was after that. Now, I could be wrong, but.
Wow.
But yeah, you don't trust anybody jumping on stage, you know?
So they all have security in front of the.
Yeah, and that's how you get punched. Literally. You might die from that.
Wow. Didn't David Grohl, isn't that how he broke his leg, fell off the stage?
I'm not sure of that. It's possible.
Because they put him back on stage. He didn't want to quit. He was still singing.
Really?
And there was a doctor in the audience, and they didn't have stuff there, so he obviously broke his leg, right?
Yeah, right.
So they were going to put some kind of brace around it so he could continue on, because he said, I have to finish this concert. Well, he was up there in a chair, and the wife went to get the brace. They sent the wife out to get the brace, and the doctor sat there and held his leg while he kept singing.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's hardcore.
That is hardcore. It's like, these fans paid all this money. I'm going to give them what they want.
Yep.
Never mind my broken leg. It's all right. It's numb right now.
Right.
Like, jeez. Man, that's crazy.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, some people, they can push through some pain. I would have probably been crying
Yeah.
like a baby.
Well, maybe you're in a zone.
Adrenaline.
Yeah.
Your adrenaline's going like
Yep.
crazy.
Because look at all the stuff that he's been through.
Right.
He lost the band in Nirvana when
Yup.
Nirvana was gone.
Yup.
And then he lost his drummer in Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters, yep. That's crazy, yeah. He's been through it,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just been plugging away.
Keeps going.
That's awesome. Part of that Seattle grunge scene. That's cool.
But
Well, right on.
okay, there
Well,
we go. We did it again.
Thanks for sitting down with me, and we'll do this again sometime.
Right on. Take
All
care.
right, we'll see ya.